today we're going to make a cheesecake that's only has 6 grams of carbs, so that if you have a diabetic person in your family or a person who wants to eat low sugar, they can eat this cheesecake and really enjoy it. So, okay, Levy is going to be helping. First we're going to put in our almond flour. How much almond flour do you have, Levy?
2 cups of almond flour.
Okay. And what we're going to do is whisk together, break up any kind of clumps that you have. And to that we're going to add our swerve. And how much swerve do we have? 1/3 cup, I believe.
Yes, 1/3 cup of swerve.
Okay, and we're just going to whisk that in until you get it all mixed up. Make sure you don't see any clumps of white in it. And just any kind of clumps, just keep stirring until you get that all nice and smooth, because you don't want to have clumps in your pie crust. Now this is a pie crust that is also, you know, if you have people who need gluten-free, this pie crust will do for any of that kind of pie that you want to make and keep gluten-free. So together we're going to add a little bit of salt to this, just a little salt. A little bit more. There you go, thank you. So we're going to get that all stirred in and make sure that it's all nice and even. And so the next to that we're going to add our butter, melted butter, and I believe it's what, 6 tablespoons? 6 tablespoons of butter. Okay, everybody's pouring it right in. And you're just going to mix that until it kind of comes together. And it will be kind of, you just have to mix real hard. And Levy, could you finish mixing it? And you just have to keep squishing it together till you get it all mixed in. And while Levy's doing that, we're going to talk about the cheesecake pan. This is one that is made for cheesecake. It has a good release on it. And the way we found that you'll be able to take it off and put it on your pretty plate afterwards is if you follow these directions. First we use a spray. This one has a little flour in it. And what we're going to do is spray the bottom very lightly and up the sides. And then we have a piece of parchment paper that is the size of the bottom of the cheesecake. And we're going to put that in and flatten it out all the way around. And what this will allow us to do is, after the cheesecake cools, you will be able to slide this off with the parchment paper underneath and put your favorite cheesecake on your beautiful serving plate. That looks good, Levy. And now we're going to add, let's see, this is how it looks, kind of clumpy, but that's okay because we need it. We're going to squish it into our pan, and Levy's going to add about a ½ teaspoon or a little more, depending on how much you like vanilla. We use a Mexican vanilla. That's okay. That's what I love, so let's go with it. And Mexican vanilla has a really good flavor, and so you just want to mix this all thorough. You want to finish up, Levy? We're going to mix that all really good, and then what we're going to do is we're going to pour it in here, and then we're going to squish it down the bottom and up the sides. And then after we get that all done, we're going to put it in our oven at 325 degrees for about 8 minutes. And you might want to watch it depending on your oven. It may not take quite that long. But 8 minutes is what our oven has perfected. Okay, I believe you're great, Levy. You want to pour it in? Go ahead and pour it in. This is what it looks like. It's kind of crumpy. Alrighty. And then we're just, well, let's get it off. Yeah. Okay, so you have enough crust here to not only cover the bottom of your pan, but to go up the side a little bit. So see, and we're going to squish down and see how it's coming together. Maybe you want to like finish it, squish it all the way down and some up the side. Just make sure that you don't have any holes in the bottom of your crust because you want to have it at least even on the bottom, and you're gonna have enough to go up the side. And Levy is getting that all in. And then we will show you what that looks like afterwards. We're almost there. It's looking good, Levy. Oh yeah, using your knuckles, that's a great idea. And we're just getting it as flat as possible. And once we get this in the oven, we're going to start the filling. And the filling takes a little while. So if you're going to make this cheesecake, you should get started early in the morning because you're gonna need to bring the ingredients for the filling all to room temperature, which it takes a little while for that to get done. Now Levy has got this finished. And so now we're going to, Levy, will you pop it in the oven for us? And then we are going to get ready to do the cheesecake part. We're going to take a little pause here while we get set up for the filling. Hello, we're back again. Now we're ready to make the filling. And we have the pie crust cooling back here. And what we've got in the mixer right now is what, Levy? 8 ounces of cream cheese. Now what we do is bring the cream cheese to room temperature. And what you want to do is give this a really good beating. I mean up to like 15 minutes or so, right Levy?
Yes.
Because you're adding in air, and that way your cheesecake is going to rise nice and high. If you don't beat it enough and your cheesecake, your cream cheese is not at room temperature, it will not come out right. So the first thing we're going to do is, Levy is going to turn this down really low to the lowest amount, and Levy is going to add in the swerve. We have found out that swerve works very well for baking, and we just add a little bit in at a time so that, first of all, that it doesn't blow out everywhere, and that it mixes evenly. And so, how much swerve do we have here?
6 tablespoons.
More than that. 3/4 of a cup.
Yes.
Yeah, we had 6 tablespoons in our crust, I believe. Is that right? Or a third of a cup, which, yeah. Anyway, but the recipes will be found on our blog, our YouTube site, when we get to it. We're just starting this, so, you know, we're not sure when all that is going to happen. But right now, we're putting in the swerve, and then after he's got it all in there really good, then I'll turn it up to about 2 on my KitchenAid, and the next thing he's going to do is add the eggs in one at a time. And be sure and bring your eggs to room temperature also. Okay, now Levy's ready to pour it in, so I'm going to turn it back down to 1. Just going to drop it in. Alright, and then we're going to make sure that that gets mixed in real good before we add the next egg. And we always break the eggs separately in a bowl to make sure, number 1, that we don't get eggshells in our ingredients. And second of all, every now and then, you never can tell, you might get a bad egg, and you don't want to spoil your whole mixture with a bad egg. So we have made it a practice to beat our eggs separately and pour them into our mixture. And that way you're always safe. You can check and make sure you don't have any eggshells in your ingredients, and that the eggs are always good. So this is egg number 3, right?
Yes.
Alright, and each time he gets ready to put in, I go down to 1 on my mixer so that we get a nice smooth finish when he does that. Alright, he's going to add egg number 3. And then we have a fresh lemon over here that we're going to add in about a teaspoon of lemon juice. It's very, very sharp diabetic. And we have a little juicer here. And this little juicer has a little spout on it too. It makes it really convenient. We probably should make this first. That's okay. And yeah, just squish it all down really good. I think that's probably good. Alrighty, so it's probably about a teaspoon. And we're going to pour that in. Make sure you don't get a seed in there. Alright, very good. It catches the seeds pretty good, doesn't it? Okay, then next we have our vanilla. And you were going to put some zest in there, weren't you, Levy? Do you want me to put this up so it'll make it easier for you? Okay, I'm going to raise this up. And Levy's going to zest a little bit in. Sometimes it's a little bit easier to do it before you cut it in half, but sometimes we don't do that. Anyway, we put a little zest in, and I'm going to just take my spoon here and give it a little stir around. And Levy's going to get prepared to add in vanilla, and we really like almond with our cheesecake, so we're going to put just a dash of almond. We're going to put about a teaspoon of vanilla and like about 1/8 of a teaspoon of almond flavoring. If you don't like almond flavoring in, just leave it out. But you know, it's something that we like. So, and use a good quality of vanilla. We're in Texas, so we have available to us what's called Mexican vanilla, and it has a very good aroma, and it's very good, right, Lev? We love it a lot. So we're added our vanilla, and now Levy is going to put like about 1/8 of a teaspoon of almond extract. And so we're going to make sure that that's all mixed in really good. And then the next thing we have is 16 ounces of yogurt. Some people put sour cream in at this time, but we find that we like using yogurt. And the yogurt we use is a full-fat yogurt. And you really need to use a full-fat yogurt in this for the best taste. You know, it really is better. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on low. And now don't overbeat it at this point. You're just going to put a little in at a time. Levy's going to put it in. And this is really our last step. Be careful about that. Don't let the beater get ya, or get ya, or get ya, or get ya, or get ya. I can turn it off if you prefer. We have really had a fun time preparing this meal for you. Our first item that we prepared was the ribs, and we did that in our Instant Pot, and then we did our broccoli in the Instant Pot. Now this takes quite a bit longer than either one of those things, because we're going to cook this for about an hour in a 300-degree oven. And after it cooks for an hour, we're going to check it to make sure that it's centered and everything, that the center is cooked. And then after it's ready and nice and brown, we're going to prop the oven open and let it stay for another hour. And you need to make this the day before you want to serve it. And so after it's all together and everything, we're going to just drizzle a little bit of Lily chocolate over the top and decorate it with raspberries.
Yep.
Okay, we're back. Our crust has come to room temperature, and so now we're ready to pour our cheesecake mixture into our crust. And Levy's going to help with that. There you go. And you can just set the beater down on the little thing when you're ready. Alright, there you go. Okay, so we're going to do this together. Levy is going to be my strong man. And we're just going to pour it in. See how smooth it's coming out? these nice clear pans, bowls, make it really easy to see and also really easy to scrape. If you get a good scraper, you can get most of it out. One time my son-in-law told me, he said he doesn't like those spatulas that I have because you can get too much stuff out of the bowl and then there's nothing left for them to lick. So, but today we're trying to get it all out as much as possible. And then we're going to put this again in a 300-degree oven for 1 hour. And then after 1 hour, you're going to let it stay in the oven for another hour. Then we're going to bring it to room temperature. Let it cool to room temperature, and then we're going to put it in the refrigerator overnight. And tomorrow, we're going to decorate it with the Lily chocolate and fresh raspberries. It makes a beautiful, beautiful cake. All right, Levy, we're going to show them how it looks. I'll get out of your way here. All right, I believe we've got it in there. And so now you want to put it out the oven door for you. And our oven is already preheated again to 300 degrees. And Levy's going to put it right in the middle. And great job. And so now we're going to set our timer for 1 hour. Okay.